Okay.
That was...
But just to speak as if it is a foregone conclusion that they are going to join you, like there's something psychologically about that makes people less wishy-washy about it. And so following up, but the other thing is that we all know that people, when they get motivated to start making a change or like committing to something, that can be very fleeting. And so if you wait too long, you've kind of missed your window. I used to worry about, I don't want to bug them, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, as long as you're not being annoying, like you're just following up to see if they have any questions or whatever, like nobody gets annoyed with that,
And if they want to be annoyed, they can just ignore me.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's what I say too. Like, I'm just so, like, it's so refreshing to me to find somebody that is mentally, like, at the same place I am. Like, so many people just get caught up in the, I don't want to, and you and
I don't want to
same page,
Yeah, like listen, how many emails do I ignore in my life?
Well, I mean, that's how I feel though. It's like, if you ignore, like, if you're annoyed by me, then ignore me or unfriend me or, that doesn't bother me. It's fine. Like, not everybody's going to like get me. Right. So it's fine. But anyway, so I would follow up with those people if you haven't, since you sent them.
Yeah, no, I will. I'll, that was like two or three. One was 3 days ago and one was 2 days ago. So I'll do them both tomorrow. Yeah, it's fine. I'll just do them both tomorrow.
I usually do. So most of my links get sent out at night. So usually I give them the whole next day to kind of marinate on it. And then by the second morning, I'll usually send my message then. But
one is one of my respiratory therapists who's like classic, did, I don't know, OptiFast or one of these like medi things, and she and her mom lost a whole bunch of weight.
Yeah.
And a year later, she is heavier than when she started.
Yeah.
Like she went like this. And she's like, and I'm like, because that's not sustainable.
Right.
Like,
I know. That's what people don't get. It's so frustrating to me. It is so frustrating. There's just so much garbage information out there. Like, I had a girl, you'll appreciate this. So she's on Instagram and she just started working out with the trainer, blah, blah. Well, she has in her stories that her trainer has her on this like macro breakdown, right? And she's like asking something about the carbs. So I message her, I'm like offering advice or whatever. And so she sends me a snippet of it. The breakdown is like 70 something grams of protein, like 50 grams of fat, and 150 grams of carbs. I'm like, I'm just going to be super honest. You're not going to get anywhere with that. Like, that's way too many carbs. Like,
I just ate an apple and feel like I splurged for a week. Right. But like
150 grams of carbs. Like, nobody can. And that was her fat loss plan. I'm like, oh my.
What? No. Oh my.
Yeah. So,
and like,
good luck.
And I'm not crazy. Like, I don't think anybody got fat eating apples. I'll tell you that.
No. But
so like, but still, come on. That's
a lot of carbs. A lot.
Even for anybody. Whoa. Yeah.
So
that's crazy. Funny. The other question I had, and this may not be for tonight, but maybe like a good topic for another call, is like when somebody says, "Oh, but I'm doing Weight Watchers," right? Like, because I know Weight Watchers really well. I did Weight Watchers in college. I lost 40 pounds that way. It took me 15 years to regain this weight, so it's not too bad, I guess.
You're right.
In the spectrum of being an American, but like, I know there are ways, and I know you know how to do this already, like how to adapt containers for Weight Watchers, because you can do it at the same time,
right?
Especially with the new Weight Watchers.
I'm not familiar enough with Weight Watchers. Like, that would be something that you and I could maybe collaborate
I
I don't know it at all.
Yeah, because it's a lot like what I used to do. My mother-in-law does it, and it's it's actually probably the closest to the old system, which was a good system of basically whole eating.
Okay.
It said, eat food that's good for you and makes you full.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want Fritos, it's going to cost you a lot of points.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's what it should do.
Right. You want to eat grilled chicken? Eat as much grilled chicken as you want.
Yeah.
Because nobody got fat eating that.
Right.
Right? But if you want a piece of chocolate cake, that's going to be 25 points. Right.
You're blowing your wad on it. Right.
Right. Exactly. But that's very logical. Okay. Right. So
my only problem with that is that I'm the type of person that is saving up my points every single day to eat that chocolate cake. Like that's what I do with calorie counting.
And people do. And that's why it's not always sustainable.
Right.
Because they're just
So like I get it. There's pitfalls to any system, so I get it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, for me, when I know somebody's doing something else, I usually just kind of give mental support and like check in with them periodically to see how it's going, because in the back of my mind, while I'm obviously wishing them well and I hope that they have long-term success, I know the likelihood of that not happening is high. And so I just keep the lines of communication open so that when they do decide that that's not what's working for them, then maybe they're ready to give my thing a try. Yeah, exactly. But to be honest, I mean, even in the scope of Weight Watchers, like even if they like the point system and whatever, they still need workouts.
Right.
They're not doing that. And I still believe, and I'm sure there's some kind of how many points Shakeology counts for, but I think Shakeology is an amazing tool. Like I do. I really do. So I still there really is not anybody that comes to me saying, oh, well, I'm doing this or that or the other, that I still don't think that there's some aspect of this program that makes sense for them.
Yeah, so absolutely.
I'm still, talking to people about it, no matter what they tell me they're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely not pushy. A lot of it depends on, how much of a conversation I've had with them in the past. There's a lot of variables where you kind of feel out who you can kind of do that with and who you kind of need to take a back seat and kind of watch a little longer.
Even like one of my nurses now, she's like, yep, I have all the 21-day fix stuff already. Yeah. I've done it. But and I have XYZ DVDs. I was like, well, for like $100, you could get the whole thing for a whole year.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, right. So I know she has all this other stuff. Yeah. And so we talked a little bit about that. I just have to find her so I can send her. Yeah. She's like, oh yeah, I'll look at that, because she's looking for stuff. She's a runner. Yeah. And she's looking for other stuff to do.
Yeah. So she needs weight training and she
needs exactly
yoga and all that stuff. Totally.
Right. So, she has hammer and chisel and she has something else. Right. So she knows what she's doing a little bit.
Yeah. That's awesome. Right. And people like that, like I said before, I always say, oh, you already have that stuff. That's awesome. Do you have a coach that you work with? Because if not, I'd love to
she was all about getting into the challenge group and stuff. Yeah, she was
because not all coaches coach. There are a lot of coaches that just want to sell you some stuff and they go away, or it's people that just ordered it online and have a random coach that they don't even know that whatever. So I always check in with them, and if if they want to switch to me, I don't see the problem in that. So. Anyway, but so
is this still just you and me?
I guess, it's just you and I. So I'm going to share screen. Let me click on the one I want to share first. Hold on just a second. These are actually going to be two girls that are in our current group, because I thought it was, there's other Lauren. Sorry. Perfect timing. It's okay. I said you probably got stuck with taking care of your son or doing something. No problem. We were just chatting.
Okay.
So I decided, Lauren, do you have any questions before we start? Hickman, I'm going to have to use last names because it's the two Laurens tonight.
That's okay. Everybody calls me Hickman in education anyway. So
okay.
That's awesome because everybody calls me Catalano.
There
That's
you go.
normal in my way.
I always want to say Catalano for some reason.
I don't care what you say. It's my husband. I'm from New York. I'm nasal. I'm like Fran Drescher.
You are not.
Yeah, well, it's okay. People in Pennsylvania talk weird.
You're like Fran Drescher. That laugh is just.
You should have seen me today. It was pretty ugly. Okay.
Okay. So if you don't have any questions right now, Hickman, I'm going to share some conversations that I've had with two of the girls that most recently signed up because I feel like they're a good illustration of kind of how my conversations go. So let me share screen so you guys can see. I apparently have somebody messaging me right now wanting me to help them. So that's awesome. I'll check in with her. Okay, you guys can see it?
Yeah.
Okay, this is Katrina. She's been on there. Okay, so I think I must have added her to one of the PMG groups. I don't know what this initial message was, but the reason I keep my profile picture what it is just because, like, if I'm sending a friend request or I'm commenting on something in a group I'm in or whatever, like, people can see that I'm, like, a fit person, and it a lot of times will spark a conversation. So she obviously, like, we became friends and she saw my picture and she said nice things. And I was like, oh, thanks. So that was way back in October. So I obviously had noticed that she had been like liking or maybe even commenting on a lot of my posts since then. And so when I made my February event and decided who I was going to invite, like, I clicked on her. And so she clicked interested on that event. Mm-hmm. And so that's where this initial message comes. Blah, blah. So this is just my little blurb that I send out to anybody that does that. Had your name pop up as interested. Would absolutely love the chance to work on some goals together. Do you mind sharing a little bit with me about your current nutrition and fitness routines, what goals you're working towards? Helps me know where we are starting together and what our best first step will be. Super excited. So I was telling Catalano that I always talk, especially when somebody clicks on interested in an event, like they've expressed an interest, I always speak as if they are definitely joining me. Like, that's why I use things like our first step is going to be and all this stuff. Like, I just talk as if there's not even an option that they're not going to join me. So that's kind of how I word things. So she just starts telling me about her thing, and she just had jaw surgery and blah, blah, and she's still healing and all that stuff. So, the whole like doctor empathy thing, oh, I'm sorry, I'm glad you're healing. We want to take things slow. She talks about somewhere about doing Orange Theory, and she like hurts herself a lot. She talked about paleo. So I spoke to her about that because that's what I do. And so that was kind of a bond we had. So I told her how I use the portion control system with paleo and fasting. It would be a great option for you, blah, blah, blah. So then again, like, we're just talking about her and keeping it on her. And so, and I always ending with the question, have you experimented with going without dairy at all? Or is that something you're not willing to give up? I'm just trying to get a little bit more information about her nutrition. So then she's talking more about her jaw surgery. She says she has built-in portion control because her jaw's hurting her or whatever. Then that's when I say, it sure sounds like Shakeology will be an even better choice for you, obviously, because you're having a surgery and don't want to chew a lot of food. So then I, talk about how it's not really within paleo exactly, but that it works really well and I feel good drinking it, blah, blah, blah. So then I decide here that I'm going to give a little blurb about the program. So the way the program works, It's through an online streaming subscription. It gives you an entire year of access to every program we have. You really can't beat it in terms of the results and value. Then you'll also get the container system and your first month of Shakeology. Can't beat that, right? And then I say this a lot. Okay, lots of info I just threw at you there. What questions can I answer for you? Super excited, again, to get started together. Like I say that a lot. So then she asked about price point, ingredients, blah, blah. So I send her a little picture of Shakeology that I pulled offline. So then here's a little bit about overcoming objections, because now she starts talking about stevia. She says it causes nausea for me. Are any of them unsweetened? Otherwise, she loves the nutritional content. She said something about Shanti, apparently. I tell her no unsweetened options. They couldn't make it taste good without something, so they tried to pick the best, possible that they could come up with. Then I say it's really only a very small amount. Basically, let's give it a try, and if it doesn't work for you, we'll return it, right? And that I'll, go out of my way to facilitate it for them. Like, I make it as easy as possible. Like, if it really isn't something you can tolerate, you're not going to be stuck with it, basic kind of thing. Now, as far as price point, and so now that's when this is kind of my little spiel about actually talking about price. So for the year of all access, the container system, first month of Shakeology, we're running a sale on the bundle for $150. It's a crazy awesome value. After that, your only ongoing commitment is your Shakeology, if you decide you love it. Then I talked about the auto ship, blah, blah, blah. Cool. How much to maintain the all access? So then I tell her it's $99. And how much is Shakeology? I tell her how much that is. But I usually throw this in too. If you decide you love Shakeology and want to continue, we can talk about the best way to get it for the best price possible. She says sold. Boom. Send her a link. And I'm still cheating and using the BB links thing, because getting the email address and using a share card. I know I need to, but whatever. So
why? That works so good. Why would
I
you
know.
do that way?
The only reason is because it gives them options to add other things into their cart. Like, it will give a suggestion about 3-day refresh if they want to try that, or it's like an Amazon cart, when you put something in and then it says like other people also like this, like similar type things or whatever. So it's a nice way to like get people
add on. Yeah.
To know that there's a whole bunch of other products in there, and they might ask you about it or add it or blah, 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 whatever. So that's really the only benefit, but I have been too lazy and I use the BB links. So anyway, thanks for making this easy and straightforward. Talk to you soon. And she ordered, boom, done. And so that's that one. Any questions about how that one went, or does that all make sense? Okay. Let me find one other one that I scrolled through that I thought was pretty good. Okay, Deidre. She is also in there. Okay, let's just go back to the beginning. Okay, so again, this was somebody that she obviously had been liking my stuff. And so I sent her, because I had never had a conversation with her. This is not normally how I do this, just FYI. But if somebody I know has been watching me for a while, then I don't have a problem inviting them to the event, like just clicking on their name and it sends them a little thing like, Emily has invited you to her blah, blah, blah challenge or whatever. And then people will click on interested, right? Like, I don't have a problem with that. But I would never, ever just send a message to somebody like, hey, wondered if you wanted to join my group. I've never talked to you my whole life. Like, we've probably only been friends for like 2 months, whatever. I would never do that. So just so you know that. But again, it's the exact same little blurb that I sent Katrina, basically. We obviously were not Facebook friends. Oh yeah, we weren't even Facebook friends. I think somebody that she was friends with must have clicked on my event. And so then she clicked on it, because we weren't even friends at the time. So she apparently saw me in one of the PMG groups. And then she starts, giving me her spiel about like what her goals are, blah, blah, blah. Can I help her? Thanks so much for reaching out. I'm like, are you kidding? Whatever, of course. So turn it on her. Talk to me a little bit about what your nutrition looks like right now. And I always say no judgment. It just helps me know where we're starting from, just so they know I'm not like gonna berate them for eating, McDonald's or whatever. And I then go on to say that nutrition really is the biggest piece of the puzzle. So that's why I focus on that first. But again, with the, positive affirmation, I'm all about sustainability. So together we will find the right fit for you and your needs. Like just saying that. Okay. So she's vegetarian, blah, blah. She apparently already works out. So I tell her, vegetarian diets are really high in carbs. She's talking about she's eating prepackaged meals and pizza and cheese sandwiches and stuff. And I'm like, well, seems like you've got a lot of processed flour and probably some sugar in there. So it's probably what's holding you up, blah, blah. She's looking forward to my program. Okay. Then she wanted to know how I became a coach. She's the one that was getting injured. Sorry, I mixed them up, with Orange Theory. So anyway, I give her a little blurb about how I became a coach. I really think this will be an awesome fit for you just based on the little bit you shared with me already. It will allow you to get in a more consistent groove with your workouts since you'll be able to do them at home on your own schedule. We will take things slow to prevent injury for sure. Orange Theory is intense. Then we will slowly clean up nutrition choices a bit, use some portion control, and we'll be on our way to making some lasting changes together. And you'll have support not only from me as your coach, but also from the other awesome ladies getting started alongside you in our group.
Can I ask a question about that?
Yeah, of course.
It's all women?
Usually.
You have any groups with men in them?
No, I've tried. The men never participate. So if I ever have a man, I just message them individually.
Got it. Okay.
Because they just don't feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just weird. And then women in the group don't feel comfortable, like posting their,
sweaty selfies.
So it's not a good idea. And I tried to do an all men group at one time, and it just, they're not going to post their freaking selfies. Like dudes are just different. So I just work with them individually. The only caveat is that this was supposed to say most definitely get out of it what you put in. Doesn't mean you'll do things perfectly, but as long as you stay committed. So excited to have you. Nothing's going to stop us, blah, blah. I talk a lot about us being a team, like together, we're going to do it and all this stuff. And then again, ask her if she has any questions, before I give a few more specifics about what you'll need in order to participate fully with the group. This was a really good conversation. I'm like impressed with myself. Actually, I don't always sound this good, but I'm pretty proud of this one. No, not right now. Just let me know the specifics. Okay. So then she gets basically the same spiel that Katrina got. I talk about the online workouts. Then there's the eating plan. I talk about the containers, why it's awesome, why it helped me. I talk a lot about tailoring it or customizing it. People like to hear those words, so they know I'm not just going to sell them some stuff and say, go get it. Then I talk about, the way I talk about Shakeology is I always call it now a whole food based supplement shake. Because a lot of people don't like meal replacement. They're weirded out by it. I like to make sure they understand it is food, because I get that one a lot. I like to eat my food. I'm like, well, it is food. Like, it's just convenient food in a powder form. Like, it's food. I also talk a lot about being skeptical about it, and what changed my mind. The ingredients are great. I'm lazy, and I like, it helps me with my cravings, blah, blah, blah. Best part of my day every day. And then I say, I think that we as coaches are a huge piece of the value of this program. I really, really do. Like, plugging them in and helping them troubleshoot and checking in with them, like all that stuff is valuable. So I always throw myself and the group in as the third piece of the puzzle. So, and I talk again about customizing it and troubleshooting and blah, blah, blah. And again, I do okay, lots of info. I just threw out, lay those questions on me. And then of course it's what's the cost? Can you choose which components? Okay, this is a good one. Can you choose which components you want, or is it an all or nothing? For example, I have tons of meal replacement shakes left over from Isogenics. I hate to admit that I don't really like them, but I spent so much money, I need to try to at least finish them. But she would be interested in the home videos and the portion control.
She could do what I did. I sold them.
You're smart. I've heard nothing like Isogenics. I've heard is terrible. Plus, they have garbage in their ingredient list. So
it was gross.
Yeah, and they're garbage. Okay, so here's what I say to her. So for the entire year, I tell her what the price is and what she's going to get. It's really a good deal. I said, honestly, it's possible to do piecemeal, but you'll end up paying the same for the workouts and containers and as you will for the bundle. So you might as well go for the whole deal, and then we can cancel or delay the shakes moving forward if you want to use up what you have. I will say that this shake is different from anything else out there, quality ingredients and yummy, but I also understand wanting to use what you paid for. Maybe put that other stuff on Craigslist. So apparently I told her to sell it. Awesome. And then I say something about the groups are on Facebook. Okay, and apparently she's tried Shakeology in the past, and I recall they were just okay, just a little sweet tasting. I'm willing to try again as part of the program because, again, she wants to be in this group, right? And you're telling her why it's valuable and why you love it and all these other things. So you can see that people, like, they're skeptical, but they're also open to listening. When you believe in something so strongly, and they see that you have gotten results or that you're feeling great or that you're healthier or blah, 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 like they will invest in something and they will decide to go ahead and go for it. So she said it was too sweet. I said, well, let's try the vegan chocolate instead because it tends to be less sweet. I send her the link and she's like, okay, I've signed up like 4 hours later. So boom. And so the other thing I do want to tell you guys, do you have any questions about that conversation and how it went? Good? Yeah. The other thing I have started doing, and I know this is hard. I mean, I'm at home, so it's probably a little bit easier for me. But for all my new customers, I have started offering a phone call, like after they sign up. The first phone call I do is just to help them pick a workout program. Now, granted, it's almost always 21-day fix, but that conversation and me asking about what kind of workouts they like and what equipment they have at home and, you know, that kind of thing, they still feel like I'm customizing it to them. And I am to some degree. You know, I don't always start with 21-day fix. But that feels like a personal touch that a lot of people have really liked. And so I do that usually right after they sign up so that they can start with workouts. And then again, when their containers and their shakes come, I usually offer another one to make sure that they, you know, understand how the containers work and all that other stuff. So that's another thing that I've kind of started doing that has been, you know, a good thing. So here she and I did that. Okay. Are we good with that? Is that all starting to kind of make sense on how I kind of progress things a bit? I'm going to stop share for a second. I like seeing your faces. Hi, Peggy Sue.
Hi.
Did you take a shower today?
I did.
You did your hair. I'm still so gross. Oh, if you guys knew how gross I was. So gross. Anyway, so that's really
what I'm like addicted to showering. Isn't that,
well, you
like,
also sweat a lot. Like if I sweat as much as you, like, I feel like I would have to shower. I don't sweat that much. So somehow I just decide that I don't need to shower that much. Plus I don't go in public, so I'm really the one who smells myself.
whatever.
No, I go
I,
into it.
I sweat a lot, but for some reason I want to try and shower like Emily. So
See,
totally
I
stupid.
rub off on you guys. Soon the Laurens are not going to shower either. They're going to go to work.
Oh no.
So
I don't
close.
shower. No, I don't shower.
Oh my God,
And,
stop.
like my hair is like all lumpy. You can tell. I mean, it's curly, so I have that to
Yeah.
blame it on. But
Mine is just, when I start wearing the headbands, it has been a hot minute since I've washed my hair.
My hair's going to fall out one day. It gets washed every day. I'm going to be bald. Because every day I
Oh
can't
You
my
wash
wash
gosh,
myself.
not
every
me.
day.
You need to
I
do
do,
dry shampoo,
yeah.
although your hair really gets so sweaty. I don't even know if it would work for you. I feel like you need
Thank you.
to shower or wash it every day. Your hair
I
is so
am
sweaty.
I'm so gross. It's true. 45 pounds worth of sweat. That's what I've lost.
Okay, let me see if I can find somebody that maybe I had a more like typical conversation, like somebody that I had to kind of talk to for a while, kind of thing.
Do you have one that's like, you had to bring this up as a topic of conversation?
Yes, I definitely do.
You know what I mean? Where you had to go like this way.
Yes. I need to figure out, because at this point I have a lot of people that come to me because I have been doing this so long that people just know Emily's the girl, like that I'm going to talk to, right? But in the beginning, obviously, and it's not always that way either. So I just have to think of somebody that would be a good example of that, because I don't feel like I've had too many of those recently. Let me just go back to Jennifer, because Jennifer is you might know her, Lauren, from other groups, but she's the PMG that has breast cancer, and she's an author.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe she was a customer. This is Deidre again, sorry. She was a customer like before she got breast cancer, I think. And so then she obviously like wasn't doing it. Okay, let me share screen again. And then, so now I got her back on it because she's
better, right? I think.
Yeah, I think she's in remission and she's done with chemo. So like her hair is coming back and everything. Okay, so this is clear back in 2016. Oh, I need to move this. Okay, so I started a stay-at-home physician group. Like that is where I made a lot of physician mother friends because, well, that's just what I did. So then I had a spin-off group that was called our Stay-at-Home MD Fit Club, and like this was back like when I first started coaching. I was like, this is how I'm gonna like get people kind of watching me do health and fitness stuff and whatever. So I just sent her an invite at the time. I did not know her at all. I sent her a message just checking in with her. And I did this for literally everybody in the group because there was maybe like 40 people at the time or something. Thanks for the invite, blah, blah. She whatever. Feel great on that. She's vegan. Oh yeah, she's still vegan. Feel great on that plan, but it often has more carbs. Exercise plan is minimal. Would love to make it a priority, blah, blah. Is there a post with workout plans or ideas? Does everybody do a Beachbody DVD? So I obviously was talking about Beachbody already at the time. So I said, so doing a Beachbody program is by no means a requirement, but based on what you've shared with me, I do have a great program in mind. So I guess with her, I kind of also didn't really beat around the bush very long. But this was this was a long time ago, guys. So this is when this is when I first started talking about it as a 3-part system. And so my wording here has obviously gotten a lot better since then. But I talked about, at that time, it was still DVDs that you got. And I almost always talked about 21 Day Fix because that's where people were going to start. And plus the containers is like the thing. So anyway, I pretty much got her. a mix and match kind of thing. I'm open to DVDs, and the vegan meal replacement is a big winner. But she didn't really want the containers. I'm like, okay, whatever. And so I say it's really a full system as far as the eating plan and workouts go, blah, blah. Sure, she'll do some research, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. And then I sent her a link. Can't find the price. So anyway, I guess she just basically signed up. So that one wasn't a super good one either. Honestly, I haven't had a whole lot of, I can't even like think back to the last person that I really had a major, like long time buildup. I'm trying to think of who my biggest ones have been. As you can see, I have a lot of conversations with people. So I don't know that I have one right off the bat. I need to hunt through and find you guys one just so I'm not wasting your time scrolling through. But I'm happy to, it seems kind of daunting, but really so I send out, let's say somebody posts a picture of their cute kid and it's their birthday or something, right? And so I'm just going to send them a message like, hey, whoever, happy Thursday, because it's literally what I say every time. Saw your adorable picture of your son and just wanted to wish him a happy birthday. Did he do anything fun to celebrate or something like that? Again, a question at the end. And they'll always respond because I'm asking about their kid, and everybody loves to talk about their kids. So, oh yeah, he had a great day. We went to Chuck E. Cheese and thanks so much for asking. I'm like, oh yeah. And that's it. That's the end of my conversation. I'll usually say, oh, that's so much fun. I'm glad he had a great day. Enjoy the rest of your week, blah, blah, blah. And then sometimes, though, that initial conversation, somebody will say something kind of like Katrina did to me, where they'll say, oh, I've been watching you. I love your posts. They're so funny. Or, man, I'm so inspired by, your commitment. Hopefully one day I'll get there or something. Like if they bring up the health and fitness aspect of what I do at all, then that kind of opens the door for me to at least kind of touch on it. Like if they'll say something like, oh, maybe one day I'll get there, and be like, oh my gosh, you're so sweet. If I can do it, I promise you anybody can. I'm absolutely here whenever you decide you're ready. Just let me know. Something like that. Nothing like crazy or weird. But then that's a person that I would feel comfortable with sending, clicking on their name to invite to the event and thinking that maybe they'll click on interested, or even then going beyond that to send a message actually directly inviting them to the group. Again, with my spiel about, I have a new challenge group starting. I always love doing it with awesome people and immediately thought of you or something. That's kind of my spiel. But you really have to read somebody. It depends on, do you know them in real life or don't you? And how long have you been Facebook friends? How long have they been watching you? Have they been interacting with your posts at all about your health and fitness stuff that you've been starting to post? Things like that kind of weigh in. And so I really treat everybody kind of as an individual basis. If I've invited somebody in the past and they've kind of blown me off and made it obvious that they're not, they're annoyed by that, then I'll still follow up. I still have no problem every couple, I'll just totally back off and go way back to the beginning and just send them a cute picture or a message about their cute kid again or whatever. Just something to let down those barriers. And so you really just have to kind of go from there and see how it goes. I will say that the one thing you guys should definitely, when you're having, if you have objections to somebody, you're in a conversation and they've asked and they're interested and they start objecting to anything, please come to me, because I have gotten really good at kind of overcoming those objections without seeming like I'm a pushy, annoying bee, you don't want to be like that. But there are ways of wording things that, can just let people gently know that you think it's a mistake for them not to, do the whole thing or whatever. So
what do you think are like the top 3 objections you get?
Well, I do also think that being physicians and primarily working with other physicians, we might get a more unique set of objections than somebody else that say like Hickman that only knows teachers.
And teachers are poor. And they
so
always talk about
you're going to get the money objection.
Yeah,
but that also provides a unique opportunity to present the coaching opportunity to them. Like not as many physicians are interested in making $32 on a bag of Shakeology. You know what I mean? Like, so there are unique challenges and benefits to both. So for me, probably the number one objection I get is I don't like shakes, or what's in those shakes, or I think that's crap, or whatever. Like I get that a lot. And actually 2 people recently that reached out saying they were interested were both like super anti-shakes. And even my amazing objection overcoming skills could not convince them. And I was finally just like, fine, whatever. Okay. But I do get that one a lot. Like, oh, I don't like shakes, or I don't believe in shakes, or I like to eat my food. I get that one a lot. Like, guess what? I eat a lot of food. So, other objections, I do still get price every now and then. That gets people. I mean, it's not insignificant, but, I try to help people understand the value that they're getting. I mean, you're getting workouts, every workout we have for $8 a month. I mean, it's crazy, $8. And even Shakeology, even full price Shakeology, okay? You're talking about around $4 for a meal, like a meal. I guarantee you that everybody in your, like anybody you talk to about it is wasting $4 a day on something. I guarantee it. We all do it. I mean, we all do it. We all eat out for lunch, or we go to Starbucks on the way to work or something. Like there are very few people that legitimately cannot afford to invest in this program that is going to pay them back like a million times over in being healthy. Like, I'm sorry. It's the most amazing value out there. I just can't say enough. So, and even if they don't do that, I tell them this. Like I try to get everybody to just agree to try the shakes, because they're literally, when you buy a challenge pack, you're getting them for $2 a meal. It's less than half the price of a bag of Shakeology. So you might as well try it for that. I mean, and then if you don't love it, you don't think that there's a value to it, fine. That's your choice. But I still get them to try it, at least try it. And then other objections, I don't really know that there's that many other objections, to be honest. Peggy, what other objections do you ever get besides price?
It's usually the price.
Yeah, price is probably, I mean, universally, that's probably the biggest one. But I get a lot of people with the shakes, don't want the shakes. I don't like shakes.
People have problems with the price up front or the price monthly?
No, the price up front.
Sometimes both, yeah.
That's weird.
But see, the monthly thing, that's not a required, like, you can cancel the shakes after the first month. So I don't even usually get into the, like, how much are the shakes, like, which, I mean, it tells them when they sign up. So it's not like I'm withholding this information, but like that conversation never happens because like, you don't have to do that. Like you literally have the containers forever and you have the workouts for a year. So if you decide that the shakes aren't something you can swing every month or whatever, then you just move on without them. So I know for me, I was paying $130 a month for the gym so that my kids could go there to the daycare, because you had to pay for them too. Like, it was ridiculous. $130 a month for the gym. And I wasn't even getting there like 3 days a week. It's dumb. So anyway, okay. Any other questions, girls, before we, hopefully that was helpful. And I'm happy to, you know, when you need wording or you're like wanting to know how to phrase things, I am happy to help. Like,
you know, I'll ask.
Do it. I would way rather you ask and we phrase it like a good way rather than you doing what I had to do and like, oh gosh, it's seriously so embarrassing. I could really scroll back through and find some real gems for you guys because I was not good at it, but I've gotten there. So anyway.
So the best plan of attack, because I hear about the cost of it so much, the upfront and the monthly, you know, either or, to talk about it's optional, you know, you don't have to do it. It's not required for your Shaco is kind of one way that I approach it. But if it was meaningful and you did see the value in it.
Yeah, that you don't have to continue it.
Right.
I tell people that for $2 a meal, I'm sorry, you can't eat at McDonald's for $2 a meal. So initially, there's literally, there's no way you can tell me that that's not an amazing value. Like, it's crazy. And again, like you have to show value, right, in it. Like, yes, it's $160, but here is what you are getting for that amount of money. Like, you're getting an entire year of workouts for every program we have. That means as your fitness needs change, you're going to have a new program. You're not going to get bored doing the same thing over and over and over. You're going to get results and all this stuff. Like, you just have to keep talking about not only the value to them, but what value you've gotten yourself and help people see why you decided to invest in it. Because, Lauren, this wasn't an easy thing for you to decide to invest in. I mean, it's a lot of money. Like, I get it, right? But you decided that something in our conversation convinced you that it was worth investing in, right? So you just have to get good at convincing other people of that too and helping them see. The other thing I do always with, especially with a price objection, is the 30-day bottom of the bag guarantee.
Okay.
Like, I'm like, just trust me for 30 days is what I tell people. 30 days. And if you really don't think that this program is for you, you don't see the value in it, whatever it is, we will get you a refund. Like, that's a no-brainer to me. Like, you're guaranteeing basically that if they really don't like it, they can get their money back. And even if they decide it's just the Shakeology they don't like, then you can return that and they just get the workouts for a year. I mean, there's options. So people aren't stuck. Like, that's a big thing for people. Like, they don't want to feel like they're investing in something and then they're stuck with it if they hate it. So just getting them to, you know, trust enough to get it out there and start is the biggest hurdle, I think. So, and then once people are in the group, and like, as long as you have a good group, like this group right now is so good. Oh my gosh, it's so good. We have not had a group this good in a really long time. But that energy is just infectious, and you know, people are excited and they're motivated by that and all that stuff. So they will absolutely see the benefit to it because it's awesome. So, and we know it's awesome. We just have to get people to try it and then they'll know it's awesome. So, okay. Does that help?
Is there any, like, I don't know how I'm going to ask this question. If people don't sign up for a challenge pack,
mm-hmm.
right, and they sign up for something else,
mm-hmm.
how does that affect us as coaches?
Meaning?
It doesn't, like in terms of like Success Club points and stuff like that.
So Success Club points, the only way you can get Success Club points are with a Shakeology auto ship. So a one-time order will not do it. It has to be on auto ship. And challenge packs. That's it, unfortunately. Basically, Beachbody wants people to be committed to something. Now, again, even if they sign up with an auto ship, first of all, they get $2 shipping, which is a no-brainer because otherwise it's like $9 or something. So I always have people sign up with an auto ship because they can delay it, they can cancel it, they get a email a week before the next shipment. Like, it's gotten a lot better than it used to be. Like, it used to be your shipment would just show up one day and you're like, oh crap. Like, they didn't send out a warning, like nothing. It was really terrible. But now they do all that. Like, it's really a no-brainer, and you can go in online. Like, they've made it a lot easier. So those are the only two ways that you can get Success Club points. So I always am going for a challenge bag. Because I think it's the best value, and because people don't stay committed to just doing workouts, and they don't stay, like, they won't commit unless they commit to the whole program. That's just my observation. Like, people that just do Beachbody on Demand, they don't get results because they're not focusing on nutrition. And so then they just flake out. Like, there's no real skin in the game, if you will, until they've invested in the entire program and they're like committed to doing it and they're really all in on it. So I always go for the challenge pack. But if it's somebody, like, I'll have old customers, like one customer, the other way you can get Success Club points, and this, they just changed this, is it for an existing customer that hasn't ordered in 6 months and they place a new Shakeology auto ship order, that will give you 2 new Success Club points. It used to be you just got 2 per customer lifetime. That was it. So Beachbody got smart and realized that, like, we should be rewarded for, like, getting people back on track or whatever. So I had somebody, I noticed that she ordered a one-time Shakeology order and hadn't ordered in months and months and months. And so I just contacted her because I have a relationship with her. I've had a relationship with her. I'm like, hey, would you mind if we switched that to an auto ship? Because I get 2 points and it earns me money for my trip, my free trip. She's like, no, not at all. I'm like, if we need to cancel it or delay it or whatever, like, it's not a problem. I'll help you with that. And then actually we ended up converting to a challenge back because she already had Beachbody on Demand, but she was doing quarterly. And I was like, so I ended up getting her a refund on her previous quarterly payment. And so I actually ended up saving her $20, and she got a free year of Beachbody on Demand. Go me. And she was happy. And I was happy because I got my Success Club points. So anyway, that was a very long-winded explanation. But
So
you still make a commission, you just don't get Success Club points.
So somebody, if just wants to shake, as long as they do it on home track, then it's two more points.
Yes. And those are the people that, if I don't have it happen very often, honestly. Like, I tell people for $20 more, you get an entire year of all the workouts. Like, even if they go to the gym, I'm like, guys, there's days you can't make it to the gym because you're snowed in at your house or your kid is sick or whatever. Like, for $20 more, well, I guess it's 30 now. I kept saying 20, but it's 30 more. But still, for $30, like, you get an entire, so most people will still convert. But if they really just want Shakeology and that's all they want, then that's when I would use Share a Cart and specifically send them a link for auto ship, because otherwise they're going to probably just sign up for a one-time. Unless you have a relationship with them and you explain to them auto ship gives you $2 shipping. Like, that's what I do typically, but I don't have that happen very often at all. So anyway. Okay, I try not, like, there's so much to tell you guys. I'm trying not to do too much all at once. Oh, the other thing, I told Hickman this already, but I really want you guys to try posting a video of yourselves working out. Peggy Sue, you could do that too. Look at all the faces. Look at all the faces. It just has to be a snippet. It doesn't have to be like perfect. I'm telling you, video speaks volumes to people. Like, they can see themselves doing those moves themselves. Like, you doing them and showing them that you can do it then shows them that they can also do it. I'm not going to force you, but I think you should try it. Your faces, I wish I had gotten a screenshot of all 3 of them because that was pretty awesome. That was just the reaction I was going for, guys. Really jumped on that one.
I love videoing myself.
Oh yeah,
you.
Me too.
The fact that you got me to post a sweaty selfie of myself at the Sheraton on my own page.
Thank you.
That is it.
How many people respond to that though? Like,
oh, I had a lot of responses.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Like,
right, but they also haven't seen me look like this ever because there's not a lot of.
That's the other thing I'm saying. Like, all of us have a unique story and situation that will inspire people to do something good for themselves. And all I'm saying is branching out a little bit and showing yourselves doing some whatever workout you're doing that day. It just helps paint the picture even more, guys. So I really would love to see them. It doesn't have to be tomorrow, but in the very near future. And so the only tip I want to give you guys is that if you do it on iMovie, or I'm sorry, on your phone, which obviously you will, you want to film like with it like that. Otherwise it has those black bars on the side. You know what I'm talking about? So usually you film like in landscape mode, and then you can edit it if you really want to in iMovie. But I've just been doing, personally, I've moved over to Insta stories, and you can make little 15-second snippets on their video, and it's much easier. And so I've been doing that and posting it there.
What's it called? Insta stories?
Insta stories, yeah. On Instagram, the little like story function. I do think, I mean, granted, it hasn't materialized in anything as of yet, but I do think it's something important to start learning. But I would just focus on Facebook right now. Like, don't get all, but I do like using, like, I use their things for graphics, because you can make like super easy, like quick little graphic things on Insta stories and just save it, and then you can post it on Facebook or whatever. So I've been using it a lot that way as well. So anyway, okay, girls, I won't keep you any longer. Peggy Sue is like falling asleep in her beanbag chair there.
On the couch.
Oh, I thought you were on that giant beanbag chair on your floor.
I was thankful for that giant beanbag chair this morning, because when I went to go put my weights away, I fell backwards.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God.
weight.
Well, I'm glad you didn't hurt yourself.
I didn't have that thing. I don't know what would happen.
I'm telling you, Peggy Sue, you doing a workout video, like, I feel like you really need to do it. You're awesome. And everybody loves you, Peggy Sue. Put yourself out there more. Come on now.
I taped, like, I want to say last week, the first time I tried to start videoing. Okay. I did it on my iPad. So it's on my iPad. It's not on my phone. And I don't know. I just never went back to it. And then I started the Insta story thing. But, it's just so time consuming. You say it's not, but it is.
It's not that time. I mean, it is a little bit. I'll give you that. But it's really not. That's why you should just stick to the Insta story. It's a 15-second little snippet. It does it for you. And just save it and post it. Just do it. And just, if you want to, just do it in your story for right now.
That's what I did. I did that.
Of you working out?
Yes.
I missed it.
You missed all my stories? I can't even believe it.
God.
It's really hard on that stuff.
I have so many people on there. You got to tell me when it's on there. Dang it.
It should be starred number 1 at the top.
Okay. I'll figure out how to do that. So, all right, girls. Just
I gotta go to
putting
bed.
yourself out there. I do want to say consistency in your posts is a biggie. Like, you need to get more where at least once a day you're posting something about something.
Your post was awesome today, by the way. With
your, my Women's Day one?
Yeah.
Thanks.
I hate everything International Women's Day for some reason.
I know. Well, I just basically was using that to just show how awesome our challenge group is, because it's awesome and I friggin' love it. I'm absolutely in love with this group right now. So
me too.
I was really worried after I posted mine and it said XX that somebody was going to have some weird like porno reference that they weren't going to get it. I really thought that. I was like, oh shit.
You definitely have to be careful, especially on Instagram. Like when you hashtag stuff, it's like, uh-oh.
Like that didn't look so good after. I was like, well, and I was pleased. It was just a bad morning.
All I'm saying is you have to be consistent, because then more eyeballs are on you. Like,
was it not?
You just have to get consistent with what you're posting. So just make sure you're doing that. And at some point, Hickman, you need to have a coach like coming out post. I think you're getting close to that, because you've been doing really well with posting stuff. But letting people know that you are there to help them, like at some point you also have to do that, because otherwise they're just like, oh, look at Lauren go. That's awesome. I'm so proud of her. But they don't know that you actually can help them too. Right. So we need to start planting those seeds as well. So that'll be coming soon. Okay, girls, I really am going to let you go now, because I'm about to go get in my hot tub and watch Survivor. So.
Good night.
What a life.
Okay. Bye, girls.
Bye.
Bye.